my name is Emma Husky, and I will be reviewing my advocacy plan for my class LME 448. So, just a little introduction about me. Like I said, my name is Emma, and I'm a pre-med major, so I'm a biology and chemistry double major. And while this is not really related to the global goal that I chose, I love nature and being outdoors, and I also have a passion for taking care of our environment and the earth. I believe the first steps towards change is advocation and making the problem at hand known. And this right here is just a picture of me, and I also included a picture of a sunset just because I love sunsets and try and take pictures of them anytime that I can. So I created an advocacy plan for climate action, and these are two very important targets I highlighted throughout my project. So first, I also created a mind map to show the interconnectedness of the different impacts on climate change and some practices we as a society can instill to combat it. As you can see, there are many different factors that play into our constantly changing environment. Like here I included the wildlife impacts, the human health impacts, environmental impacts, and different ways that we pollute the earth, and I also included some sustainability practices we can instill in our daily lives. So the first step in creating our advocacy plans was to explore a global goal. There were many different options to choose from, but ultimately this is the topic I wanted to become more educated about because I love the environment so deeply. Without taking care of the world around us, future generations won't be able to enjoy it as much as I have been able to. We looked at our global goals at 3 different levels: the global, national, and local scales. So, at the larger scale, we have the global problems. These talked a lot about the lack of coordinated policies and international agreements in regards to fighting climate change. Climate change is a global issue that takes everyone to be on the same page about. The emissions of greenhouse gases are a worldly phenomenon that does not just involve one country. Everyone is emitting these gases, so it takes everyone to create a solution. And slightly more zoomed in, as I should say, is the national scale in the US. So multiple issues were found with policy gaps, short-term policies, inadequate funding, uneven education, resistance from industries, and national disasters. And local problems are our most zoomed in scale, and this focuses on specific communities including flooding or extreme heat, limited local capacity, low community awareness, infrastructure vulnerabilities, unequal impacts, and conflict over land use. So after we explore our goals, it's time to interpret them now. So this is where we try and understand what is causing climate change and what we can do to help reduce it. So first, I found that greenhouse gases are the largest contributor to the warming of the atmosphere, and I included this short clip of a video explaining how greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide can contribute to the Earth's warming.
Carbon dioxide concentration is the highest among all greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Therefore, it is a significant contributor to global warming. Since the Industrial Revolution, a drastic increase in economic activity has triggered a sharp uptick in carbon dioxide emissions worldwide. These emissions are higher than the amount that can be captured by the Earth's natural carbon cycle. This is why rising carbon dioxide emission is a point of great concern to every nation on the planet. The rise in global temperature changes several other weather patterns and geographical conditions.
Okay, then I found that the warming of the Earth has actually been caused by the actions of humans. And then this video I included states some of the human activities that contribute to greenhouse gas emissions and the overall warming of the environment.
Some of the main human activity that emits greenhouse gases are fossil fuel burning, animals, agriculture, and deforestation, and waste and recycle pollution. Burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas, as well as gasoline, are some of the largest pollutants of carbon emissions.
So then I researched many different ways that we can make a difference. If every one of us change our habits through reducing, reusing, and recycling, using public transportation or electric vehicles, turning off lights when not in use, and many more, we can slowly, altogether reduce the greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere, slowing the warming. Lastly, advocating for this cause is just as important. Change doesn't come from one person doing something. It takes all of us to make a true difference. So making others aware of the problems and simple solutions to it are the first step in this. So also during the interpret phase, I created a Google form to get the public's opinion on climate change and what actions they are currently doing to help with it. My results showed that many are aware of the climate change that is currently occurring. And the most used practice towards climate action is using recyclable water bottles and recycling materials. And while most know about the serious issue going on, only 6 out of the 28 people who answered my survey have participated in environmental advocacy. This really just shows what actions require the most growth and what we should work on as a society. And the next section I worked on was the brainstorming ideas on how I can help and spread the word about this issue. So 2 international organizations that I researched about that advocate for climate change are Greenpeace and the Environmental Defense Fund. So Greenpeace focuses on peaceful protest and exposing environmental problems and propose solutions for a greener future, while the Environmental Defense Fund works with partners around the world towards clean air and energy efficiency transition. Then I created a digital poster that states simple actions people can take in their everyday lives to work towards combating climate change. I want people to know that their small actions can make a big difference for the future. So we can do things like conserve some water. Whenever you're brushing your teeth, you can shut the sink off so that you aren't wasting that. We can switch to renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy. We turn off unused lights, like if you leave a room in your house and you automatically turn those lights off to save that power. We can reduce, reuse, recycle, something that most of us have heard about. And we can plant more trees. I also made a PSA informing the community of the harm that we're causing the environment, and even though we are the ones who are causing the problems, we can also be the solution to it. So, in conclusion, climate change is an important issue that affects all of us today. We need to act now if we want to maintain the environment for future generations to come. Thank you so much for listening. All my sources are highlighted in my advocacy plan, and thank you again.